again, so this is how bolts works under the hood, and it's very, I think it's a good idea to understand. But you as a developer, integrating bolts, working with the API, don't necessarily have to get that deep into the
That's like, this is the very low level.
This is the lowest level. You basically understand how we work internally, right?
Yeah.
You got that?
The lowest level from
we
the
thought it's a
very
good
bottom.
idea you have an insight.
Yeah. And this is at the very bottom of the stack. And the next thing that we do is, you don't have to do everything on your own when working with bolts. Like we have a pretty extensive documentation on docs.bolts.exchange, which contains all the information about how to create the swap. Because like the script generation is done by us. For example, like our server generates the script and the way they work. And from the developer side, you can either trust us and say, yeah, the script is going to be fine, or you can very simply verify that the script is created with the correct parameters.
Which we always encourage
Yeah.
implementations to, right? So the integrations that we have right now, we encourage them, please do the verification check. Because we do not want any trust anyway. We shouldn't, right? But then you have to verify.
And it's very easy to verify that we created the correct script. Because you know how the script should look like, you know your variables, your parameters, and you just check, is at position X the correct parameter, yes or no? If it's correct, that's fine, and it works easily. And yeah, what we also have is, as you said already, we have most of our code base written in JavaScript and TypeScript, and they give you a wrapper for all the things that are related to the on-chain scripting, address generation, and pretty much everything is in there and relatively easy to use. We use it ourselves internally, and it's pretty straightforward. Like we have lots of examples on our documentation and in our own code internally, like in our repository GitHub and on the docs. We have lots of examples and reference implementations in different languages. And yeah.
Want to do an example swap on testnets maybe?
Sure, we can do an example swap on testnet.
And we can talk about what happens in each.
Yeah.
Just to have some, you know,
On the website or in the CLI. Which one you prefer?
Well,
Let's do it in the CLI.
So is there a language that has been easier to execute these scripts rather than other? For example, JavaScript better than Python, for example, or the other way?
from your perspective, you can use whatever you want.
It's just that we use it internally for our purposes, and it's like the reference implementation. But they're like
You can use whatever you want if you want to verify the script in Go or whatever.
like we also have an application ourselves for Go. Others work with Python or C++. It's completely up to you. I just said JavaScript because like that's what we mainly use, but everything is possible. All right.
Don't doubt it's historical reasons as well.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. All right. Let's do a reverse swap from Lightning to on-chain. For that, first of all, what we do, and I'm going to use our little CLI tool for that. I'm going to create a new pre-image. Yeah, this is the pre-image, this is the secret, and this is the hash of it.
Maybe quickly say how you get access to the
Right.
CLI tool, in case you want to do exactly the same. Sure.
On our GitHub, all of our code is open source on GitHub, and this is the bolts backend. github.com/boltsexchange/bolts-backend. That's pretty much our server code, and the server code contains a little executable called bolts CLI. This one right here, and this one has lots of little toolings for like creating pre-images, creating keys, claiming swaps and whatnot. It's like a universal tool we use internally for testing and like demonstration purposes. Super handy for that kind of stuff. Alright. And we also create ourselves new keys, not just like random public and private keys, just for demonstration purposes. Don't use them for anything else. And what we're going to do is / that's our tested endpoint /API/create swap. We want to do a reverse submarine swap on BTC, BTC, like Bitcoin for Bitcoin. And now we have to give it the information we want to actually swap.
That's the first API I'll call you make trade swap.
So I'm going to copy the pre-image hash and put it in here. And also going to copy the public key and give it to it. Send the request. And now Bolt gives us a swap ID with like identification and invoice.
Very important, by the way, for your users, whatever you are programming in the future using that, you might want to show, or you want to show the ID to the user, because if there is some issue with the swap, they don't manage to reimburse themselves, then we can help them based on the swap ID.
That's like an identifier.
It's an identifier, otherwise we don't know what they're talking about.
Then we have the invoice, the whole invoice based on my pre-image hash, and the script, the redeem script we talked about with all the operations in there, and the address based on the redeem script. We also have the timer block height, at which block does the thing get cancelled and refunded, and how much we're going to get on-chain. I'm just going to do a swap for 100,000 satoshis on Lightning, and I get back 99,200 something satoshis on-chain. Alright?
The timeout block is a 24 hours, right? In seconds?
Exactly.
Right.
It's 24 hours, but it's not in minutes and seconds, but it's in blocks. Like we guesstimate 24 hours, 10 blocks, like one block every 10 minutes, it's like 144 blocks.
By the way, that's how everything works on Bitcoin. You have the time chain, right? So you don't have timestamps, no Unix timestamps anywhere. You have to trust the block height as a measure of time.
And pretty much we don't say 24 hours, we say 144 blocks, which is roughly 24 hours. Could be 25, could be 23.
Doesn't matter, it's somewhere there.
Exactly. So this is a HTC.me, this is a testnet wallet for Lightning. I'm just going to use this because it's simple and easy to use. So I'm going to pay the invoice. And it's blocking. Because both with the whole invoice, the invoice isn't settled immediately until I get my on-chain coins. This is going to be hanging in sending. The payment is in limbo. It both has their HDLC, but it doesn't know the pre-image, so it's hanging in the sending limbo status. And what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to get myself the on-chain coins to my wallet, reveal the pre-image, and then this is going to be done, settled.
To visualize that, right? So we have right now, let's say I'm the user, my color is bolts. There is now this 100,000 satoshis is now set up here in the Lightning channel, but it's not on this side, neither on my side. It's waiting to be executed.
I might have a question about if the pre-image hash is like published on the blockchain. So I believe that anyone will see it, but no one else will have it unless he has a key, right?
Exactly. Everyone can see it, but to be able to actually use and spend the coins, you have to have the pre-image and the key. And both keys, so it's only for us.
Right.
Here we have our output for 99,200 something satoshis, and this is the script, like the hash of the script. And what I'm going to do now is spend these coins with my pre-image, with my keys and my script, and then the swap is done. This is a little bit tricky, so I need a second to set it up in the CLI.
Well, technically in the background also the pre-image is used to then settle the Lightning part, right?
So we're going to be our Bitcoin testnet. This is my pre-image. This is my private key to sign a transaction. Then I need the redeem script, which I get from the API. Then it's the raw transaction.
Hold on, and explain it again. What do you put in there?
One sec.
Once you have constructed it, you know.
Sure. Basically what I'm telling it is, dear Bolt CLI, we're going to claim a payment on the Bitcoin testnet chain with...
Could be liquid in future, could be other stuff, right?
So,
roast
like
the
Euro
product.
testnet, for example, which is testnet. This is the pre-image. Then we have the key for claiming, which we just talked about. Then we have the whole script with all the operations that we saw earlier. And this is the transaction that both sent to the script. And it needs the transaction that was sent to it, to have like, to spend a Bitcoin transaction, you have to know what you're spending, and like that's why we give it to it. That's why we give
Like it input,
yeah, the engine part. Like to be able to spend a transaction, you have to know where are my coins right now. To be able to spend it, which is why we give it to it as parameter.
like identifying the UTXO, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yeah. Identifying which UTXO you're operating on.
Like to know what you're spending, and need and I need a testnet address of mine. Just going to use this one. Could be any wallet. I just have this one at hand.
You can have LND with a testnet wallet. He's using Blockstream Green. There are a couple of Bitcoin testnet
Yeah,
wallets.
like I just need some address to send the coins to. Then I hit enter, and I get this transaction with all constructed with all of our parameters.
We can use Polar too.
For example, sure.
Okay.
And now it's broadcasted via our API. And let's see when it shows up. Oh, already. This is my transaction I just sent. And in here, we have the signature, the pre-image, and the script. Like for example, the pre-image here is the 9C87 something, and it's the exact same value that we have here. Created a couple of minutes ago, and this value we just used, and now it's public for anyone to see on the blockchain. And the second this thing was broadcasted in my Lightning wallet, yeah, a little bit buggy, I have less Lightning BTC now. That HTLC is now settled, both has the Lightning coins, and in my Blockstream Green.
In a regular Lightning wallet, you can see now a nice success
Yeah,
tree.
yeah,
and
like
this thing is a bit buggy. Yeah.
And in my Bitcoin on-chain wallet, I have like now the 99,000 Satoshis, minus a little bit of fees. But that's the whole procedure, and
Yeah, that's basically it. Next we'll
The script is say in the offer return and the Bitcoin transaction. No. When you can show again the Explorer.
the Explorer, sure. Hold on one step. Where is it? Here it is.
You say that the last part is the script, but this script is say in where?
Okay. When you do custom script on the Bitcoin blockchain, the script itself isn't in the address. The address contains the hash of the script. So like when you have, let's go back one step, like this address here, is too short to have the whole information about the whole script.
Okay.
And to generate a custom address with your custom script, what you do is a so-called pay-to-witness script hash. You hash the script and tell the address, if someone wants to spend from the address, they need to give you a script that matches the hash. And then in our script we have our custom logic. So what you commit to your output in the transaction is, if you want to be spent, you need to have a script that matches the hash in that address. Because the address itself can't be long enough to fit the whole script.
Yeah. Otherwise we have an ordinal situation where we have a lot of shit on the blockchain. We actually don't want.
And we don't want to push all of that scripting logic in the address itself. We just say, if you spend from the address, you need to know the redeem script. And then push the script and the parameters on top.
Cool. How about we try it out on your computers? ¿Por qué no intentamos que hacéis un swap en esta manera con el mempool testnet, con el pod CLI, con hdlc.me y algún billetera de testnet en vuestros ordenadores?
Sí,
y ayudamos nosotros, principalmente Michael. Wir helfen dir ein bisschen genau so einen Swap mal auf ihren Rechnern durchzuführen selbst.
Können wir gerne machen,
Ja,
ja.
probieren wir mal, laufen ein bisschen rum und machen Step to Step. Ne?
Ahorita lo necesario sería la billetera, la billetera de...
Muy fácil, abres un tab en el explorador htslc.me y pulsas empezar y tienes una billetera de Bitcoin testnet. Segundo paso, Pulse CLI, correrlo en un terminal.
In un terminal, sí.
So you just download the binary and
There's no
execute
binary,
it.
it's not JS. Do you have a GitHub account?
Sería importar el repositorio
Ajá.
de Pulse CLI para poder ejecutar su comando.
Können Sie das schnell irgendwie zum Laufen kriegen?
Does everyone have a GitHub account?
¿Tienes cuenta de GitHub?
Sí, sí,
Sí, muy bien.
Si no,
What you can,
ahora es el tiempo.
what you can do is, on the GitHub page of the Bolts backend, there is, if you're logged in, there is this code button and code space, and then you can like have a virtual code environment in the cloud. And then like it will set up everything for you, and it's like perfect for this scenario. Hold on.
That is the backend, right?
Exactly, Bolts backend on the green button code.
GitHub.com/bolts-exchange/bolts-backend. Estas son las cosas que yo no sé. But you need to be logged in order to use it. That's why, yeah. GitHub.com/bolts-exchange/ o puedes elegir en los repositorios bolts backend. Y tienes que abrir la página con la cuenta de GitHub en el estado login. Tienes que, how to say, you have to be logged in.
Bolt backend, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Sería GitHub CLI? No.
Hmm?
GitHub CLI, HTTPS, SSH.
Let's check on the screens. Go.
Bolt backend.
Hold on.
Will we come here?
Code space.
Code
Then it's like a cloud environment. Very nice. Exactly. Like it's gonna load a little bit, but it's gonna install everything around it that you need. It's perfect for this.
Wow. So you don't have to install it locally, right? I mean, it's like putting all the stuff together. I don't have to go to install
JavaScript and
JavaScript,
yes,
and then
which is, by the way, is sometimes a pain to find the correct version.
it is possible, but it's annoying and tedious and takes a while. And like this thing is gonna set up everything for you.
No funciona sin cuenta de GitHub, ¿no? La página se tiene que abrir con cuenta de GitHub.
O sea, tiene que ser ahí.
Es parte de la HTML.
Para que no tengamos que instalar
Eso es solo lo que pasa aquí. Un poco de test, Bitcoin. Lightning solo. Y ahora que falta hacer parte on-chain, gibt es noch irgendein einfaches Web, gibt es von Blockchain Info oder von Blockchain Dings noch das
Que es
on-chain?
necesario tenerlo o no.
No, on-chain browser-based.
Ah, y está todo. Va.
Estamos buscando una manera fácil de abrir una billetera de testnet on-chain en el explorador. Un momento.
Gibt's hier auf dem Browser oder Bitcoin.com?
Guck mal, Blockchain. Blockchain.com. Und hier noch das Testnet. Oben nach Blockchain.com Testnet.
Como la hacen toda que ponía ¿no? Está en la casa.
I have a wallet, Bitcoin testnets, clear. mobile testnet, but I don't.
Oh, this is old. Does it still work?
It's ancient. Blockstream.
They don't maintain it anymore, right?
But
If it works, it's fine.
It's fine, but like it's unmaintained. Blockstream Green works fine.
But it needs to install it, right?
Yeah.
Let me Google it. Maybe.
Espacio de código, ahí está, espacio de código. Espacio de código nuevo, de que sí, yo sabía, sí, pero no sé tampoco. Si uno viene todo instalado, digamos, el instalador y ya está. Es como una lluvia de notebooks, pero para...
más rápida. Bueno, estuve bien. Necesitamos un ejemplo. Bueno, primero era el Play, no, después el
¿con qué comando lo empezás a correr?
Debería estar, is that Vault CLI, right? One of the first commands that you need to write this, to start this.
The first step is download the project, the bucket project.
Yeah. Like it depends. If you use the code spaces, everything is going to be installed for you. If you git clone manually, you need to npm install. Which one did you use?
Lo que él está proponiendo es que nos vayamos a github.com y nos vayamos al repositorio y hay una función que para mí es nueva que estamos hablando que se llama Code Space y ese es como un Jupyter Notebook donde se instalan todos los
pero eso no la sabía también. ¿Te vas en qué parte?
Ahí donde dice Code. Estás en el backend, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Pues en Code hay una pestaña justamente debajo de
Code Space.
Ahí le vas a crear nuevo y te va a abrir un es un entorno de desarrollo, está súper genial.
Va, chévere.
Das wäre einfach und schnell. Ist irgendwas noch Rechner?
Y ahí te monta todo.
Ahí te lo monta todo. Si no necesitas ir, si no tendrías que utilizar el NPM para instalar cada cosa. Entre ellos el Vault CLI.
Bueno, hay una que parece bien en el explorador, en el browser parece que nada, que es muy raro, pero hay una aplicación que se llama Bitcoin Testnet Wallet en el Google Play Store y creo que en iOS también y parece muy fácil.
Porque podríamos probar esta también, les voy a pasar ahí el enlace para ver si funciona. Esa, la de Clear.
Si funciona para ti,
sí, yo me he enviado y he recibido Bitcoin en testnet.
Everything that has a test address works, whatever works for you.
Les voy a pasar ahorita.
Hacemos el paso, hacemos un reverse swap primero, que es desde Lightning a on-chain, porque en la billetera de htlc.me tienes unos test coins, en el on-chain parte no tienes nada, entonces hacemos un swap desde la billetera de htlc.me a esta billetera on-chain, ¿vale? Testnet Wallet, Bitcoin Testnet Wallet.
HTLC es Lightning, ¿verdad?
Lightning, sí.
Okay.
En el browser,
En el browser, sí. Y este es en el...
Eso es. Y así luego tienes Bitcoin Testnet en los dos lados y luego podemos hacer swap al revés.
Ahí les mandé ahorita por si la tratan de bajar. ¿Cómo se llama la que descubriste?
Bitcoin Testnet Wallet, from Bitcoin Developers. Pero solo es para móviles. No existe un problema. Ese es el problema que tenemos.
Bitcoin
Testnet Wallet. Buscas en el Play Store Bitcoin Testnet Wallet. ¿Qué tal la CLI de GitHub? ¿Funciona para todos?
Es perfecto.
¿Sí?
Es muy emocionante, la verdad.
Which one?
Sí, hay un-
La segunda.
Ah, ok.
Implementation wallets.
Igual aquí les paso el link de esta segunda para que instalemos la
O sea, eso que ustedes quieren instalar bien. Usted no hubiera servido para el año pasado.
Y ahora,
Ahí pasé el enlace en la segunda. ¿Todos están en el grupo aquí o hay alguien que no está?
Yo tengo que recoger porque no estoy.
Ah, espera, ya ahorita te lo paso.
Ay, no.
Ahí te pasé el primero más corto y ahorita el segundo.
tengo el que
Ahí fue que agarró su
Y esto de la semilla no podemos olvidar.
Sí, ahorita como es que... Ajá.
Sí, el problema es que. Me ganó el.
Y ahora vos pequeños. No,
Se está instalando los paquetes.
This option, code space, is like a virtual machine.
It's like a virtual thing in the cloud, just for easier setup. We could have
Is provided by
by
GitHub.
GitHub, yeah.
Wow.
It's just easier this way before we.
That is a new feature, right? Because I didn't know that.
It's relatively new, yeah, but it's like perfect for this because they got Node.js and everything is tedious. This does everything for you.
But is that like a virtual machine? For example, if you close it, then...
Yeah, exactly. It's a virtual machine hosted by GitHub. If you close the browser tab and open it again, it's exactly where you left off. Like it persists the state.
What is the type of code? Code spaces or?
Code spaces, yeah.
In the master branch. Or
Ya, pero más en backend y ahí, ajá, si
ok.
tienes eso, esa línea de comando, sí, workspace, voids, backend, master.
y ahora está en
Master branch, ok.
necesitas por project host backend.
Viene siendo como una necesita notebook, ¿verdad? Pero aplicada en
Claro,
GitHub.
claro.
Pero no sabía de eso, está súper genial.
Okay. ¿Todos estamos ya aquí o a alguien le falta todavía?
Sí, estamos. Tengo una...